Are you tired of overwatering your flower beds, your gardens, whenever it rains? You have an automatic timer system that waters even though it's already rained that day? Well, we're here to solve that problem. Introducing the Rainsense watering system. So this system is set up as two components. It has a main control box. This is wired up to a standard spigot, so you can water this potted plant, and the watering of it is controlled by this box here. Now this box, before it goes to turn the valve on, it wirelessly checks with this rain gauge here to see if there's been any rainfall. So if you were watering a flower bed, you would stick this rain gauge out in your flower bed and it would collect rain. Before this goes to water your flower bed, it checks with this rain gauge and says, hey, how much water has our flower bed already had today? And if the rain gauge says an inch, then the watering system will say, hey, we don't need to water the flower bed as much. And so it'll turn on the watering system, but it will water for less time than it would if there were no rain. So to set up this system, it's actually very simple. All you have to do is take off this faceplate. In our case, we had 4 screws here, so we took those out already. So you take off the faceplate, and inside you have the LCD, of course, and also a keypad. And this keypad is what allows you to set your watering schedule. So you will enter the days of the week that you want it to water, and how many times each day you want it to water, and also how long at each of those times you want it to water. Now, once you've entered all of that, which might take a while, but you only have to do it once. Once you've done all of that, then you hit enter, and it creates the watering schedule, and then all you got to do is turn on this valve here, turn on the spigot so that the valve has access to the water. Once you've done that, you put the faceplate back on. That's all you got to do. So now let's have a look at the wiring and the stuff inside of our box. So as you can see, we have our Arduino Mega here, which is our main controller. We used a Mega instead of an Uno because we needed more digital pins than were available on the Uno. As you can see here, attached to our breadboard are the wires that go to our servo that controls the valve to open and close the valve at the spigot. Also, we have our RF transceiver here, wired up to the Mega. This RF transceiver communicates with the rain gauge to get rainfall data from the rain gauge and also to tell the rain gauge when to drain. In addition, you can see this wire here leads to our LCD screen, and we also have these wires here which lead to our keypad to allow us to get input from the keypad. And that is basically everything in the box here. Now let's have a look at our rain gauge. So our rain gauge is controlled by this Arduino. It's kind of hidden here. It's an Arduino Uno. And we also have in this box here an RF transceiver that communicates with our control box. It's exactly the same as the one in the control box. Wires here that go to our servo valve down here, which let me rotate it around here. We have the servo here attached to a pinch valve, which pinches down on this water valve here to keep water from flowing out. So at the end of each watering cycle, it drains the rain gauge so that it can start collecting water again. And also, we've built it so that if the water level in the rain gauge exceeds a certain level or where it's full, then it automatically empties. Now, to measure rainfall, we actually have a liquid level sensor in here. It's basically just this floppy ruler looking thing. It's got inch measurements on it, but anyway, as the water level increases and it covers more of this sensor, the resistance of this sensor changes, and so we measure that change in resistance, and that allows us to figure out how much water there is in the rain gauge. This rain gauge is battery operated, so we have a battery pack in here, and this switch here turns it on and off. We have a piece of rebar that we attach so that you can easily put this rain gauge into your yard or flower bed or wherever you need it, and that's our rain gauge.